My motivation for being a teacher, for being a counselor, and for doing this show is to help other people become more self-empowered, to help people take their power back so they can be independent and strong as human beings and as spiritual beings. I've been on my own learning process. I have a vast reservoir of information and also personal experience, and I think nothing could be more empowering than to learn how to heal yourself, your body, and to maintain a healthy body. To know what to do when things start to go amiss, and to take your power back in that way. So the topic today is self-healing your body. The name of this show is Living Wisdom, and I'm Patty Paul. The first thing I want to say before we start off here is I am not encouraging anyone to abandon the normal resources they have for health and healing. Not at all. The things that I'll be sharing with you today will be up to you whether you want to incorporate them in your usual healing procedure, whether that means going to your favorite doctor for healing, taking various medications, prescription and otherwise. Whatever you're doing for yourself or intend to do, continue that. But the information I share will be giving you something in addition to that to look at and to perhaps find out more about, so that you can eventually incorporate that in your health regime if that suits you, suits who you are and where you're coming from. First of all, as I said earlier, this is about taking your power back. And you can do that in simple ways. When you visit your doctor, or when you hear about new medications that are supposed to bring about amazing results, my suggestion is that you see your doctor and see these new remedies as information. Your doctor is giving you information for you to digest, for you to think about, for you to feel about, and then you make up your own mind. Getting several opinions is a good idea because that helps empower you. Rather than putting the medical profession on a pedestal where they have been for oh so long, to see them with respect, but as those people who have their own information and their own knowledge, and you decide whether that works with you, as you also explore alternatives. There are lots and lots of books on alternative healing methods, alternative remedies, and that would be a way you could do your own research. This gives your subconscious mind the idea that you are taking your power back, that you are going to then use your own discernment about the value of the information, whether it comes from the medical profession or from alternative healing methods, books, and other things. I wrote a book called A New Spirituality Beyond Religion. It's available in libraries and other places. And in my book, I give the details of how each of us creates our own reality. We create it either by causing it or by allowing it. As this pertains to health and healing, naturally, the things that we do, the causation, certainly has impact on our health and our healing. Smoking cigarettes, everyone knows the information about that, that is a self-destructive activity, doing any kind of drinking, eating, anything to excess actually, has a detrimental effect on one's physical body. That's the causing part, the things that you do, the actions that you take, the choices and decisions that you make. That's how you cause it. Allowing your reality, allowing your physical health and healing, that's more subtle. That has to do with the beliefs and attitudes you hold, the thoughts and feelings that you have, whether you're consciously aware of them or not. Those also create your reality. Those also create your health and healing. We get a lot of input through the media, television, radio, newspapers, bombarding us with the beliefs and attitudes, thoughts and feelings of the establishment, the consensus, the majority. And that means also the consensus of the medical profession. And mind you, medicine is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Allopathic medicine, that's your regulation AMA doctor, and also the pharmaceutical companies and the equipment manufacturing companies and all of those peripheral components of what is the consensus of the medical establishment in this country. Multi-billion-dollar interest. Their goal, for the most part, is to make money. Most of those companies are public companies. They have shareholders to answer to, and they got to turn a profit. And so their motivation, obviously, is to sell product, sell pharmaceuticals, sell equipment, sell to hospitals, sell to doctors, sell over the counter to the individual like yourself who goes into your drugstore. In the medical profession, of course, there are medical professionals who have true healing, compassion and love and caring as their underlying motivation. But for the most part, I would say that often that gets pushed aside, and in the medical profession, those healers now also become profit seekers, and nothing wrong with that. It's not about blaming them, but it's about you getting a realistic and objective view. Now, getting back to you personally, how you can learn to heal yourself. Remember, you create your own reality, including your health, by causing it or allowing it. Let's say you have enough understanding and enough caring for yourself that you eat what you know to be healthy foods, that you avoid smoking, that you avoid the other excesses, drinking, you avoid drugs. You do what you know to do. Perhaps you go to your local health food store and you buy vitamin supplements and herbs and those kinds of things. Hopefully you're doing that with some research behind you, so that you, again, have taken your power in that way, and you've decided, based on what you've learned, what works best for you. Now, the subtle part of reality creation and health creation is this allowing thing. Beliefs and attitudes, thoughts and feelings. And I would say here that this one area I'm going to be talking about, emotions, has been so ignored by the consensus of medical research and the medical profession and the allopathic medical industry. And this is so critical to your own health and healing. On this pad, I have drawn a very rough figure that is supposed to be an egg. I'm borrowing a definition of emotions that I learned from my friend and teacher, Lazarus. Over the many years, I've learned a lot about health and healing and spirituality and what it is to be a human being from Lazarus. And this is a wonderful explanation of what an emotion is that Lazarus has talked about. So here we have an egg, and every emotion is like an egg. The emotions I'm talking about: love, hate, anger, rage, jealousy, pity, remorse, sorrow, the gamut of the emotions. Every emotion is like an egg. And imagine this egg with two parts to it. An emotion has thoughts related to it, thoughts, and feelings. Thoughts and feelings. In our world, for the past hundreds of years, maybe 1,000 or a couple of thousand years, because we have been living in a patriarchal world with patriarchal civilizations, one after another, for about the last 6,000 years approximately. And over that length of time, the patriarchy got twisted into male chauvinism, so that the things that were considered masculine were overvalued, and the things, anything considered feminine, were undervalued. Thoughts, intellect, intelligence, those are masculine energies, and they have been overvalued. They absolutely are important, but they have been overvalued. And feelings, those have been devalued, because feelings are feminine energy. Compassion, love, gratitude, those kinds of feelings, desire. And so generally speaking, as human beings, part of our human experience is to feel the full range of emotions that are available to us, human emotions. But for thousands of years, because feelings are feminine energy, and of course inferior because of that, it has been stressed, especially to men, that thoughts, intellect, intelligence are all that really matter. With feelings, what you learn to do is control them, which means suppress. We learn to do that as kids. And we learn to do it even more as we grow into adulthood. Keep those feelings suppressed. Keep them in a pressure cooker, and the pressure does build up. So, again, every emotion from love to hatred to rage, compassion, gratitude, those emotions, for the most part, we've devoted to thinking about them and acknowledging them intellectually, but the actual feeling of them, which is a valuable part of the human experience, we've learned not to do that. even in the mental health aspect of common medical treatment, feelings, those psychiatrists and other mental health professionals, they don't want to deal with feelings, and so they prescribe mood-altering drugs, Prozac and whatever happens to be the popular drug of choice. That's used to keep you from feeling your feelings. Now, what does this explanation have to do with your physical health? Feelings as part of the emotion, that has tremendous impact on your physical health. The fact that we have suppressed our feelings and continue to do so is part of the allowing, because feelings, especially anger is always going to be expressed. Okay, we've learned to suppress it, we've learned to control it, and whether you do it by consciously squelching it and putting a smile on your face when you're furious, or whether you take drugs to control your anger, anger is going to be expressed, and it's going to be expressed in your body. Cancer. How many billions of dollars have been spent on cancer research, trying to find a cure, and the most that the medical profession has come up with is ways of treating the symptoms of cancer. I'll go out and make a big statement here. Cancer is a product of suppressed anger that we feel hopeless about. Now, that doesn't mean that every single person who has suppressed anger is going to get cancer. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is people who have suppressed anger and rage and also feel hopeless about it, like there's nothing they can do, many of those people have a tendency to get cancer, which is an expression of anger, somewhere in their body. Now, that would be a rather drastic physical creation. But even less drastic creations also have their origin in suppressed feelings. Depression, which can be quite a tragedy for people suffering from chronic depression. Depression comes from thoughts and feelings, little angers, little sorrows, thoughts and feelings that have not been self-acknowledged, but layer upon layer of those over a period of time can create a form of depression. And all of the Prozac and all of the other mood-altering drugs that you might be taking or that your doctor might prescribe will not deal with the core issue of the cause of depression. Again, for self-healing, it is up to us as individuals to, by ourselves or with the help of a therapist who has these understandings, or perhaps finding a book that can guide you, to go inside of yourself, go inside of your subconscious mind. There are kinds of meditations that will help you do this, or self-hypnosis, Or if you go to a therapist, a hypnotherapist can help you go to the place where you can actually get in touch with some of the thoughts and suppressed feelings that have built up over time, and allow yourself in an appropriate way to express those. Now, I'm not talking about when you get in touch with pent-up anger to get on the phone and blast the person who made you feel angry. No, that's not necessary. The whole point of this self-empowerment is for you to take the responsibility of expressing your emotions, and you can do this by yourself. There are many ways. You can talk out loud when you're alone where no one will overhear you. You can express in that way, say whatever is in your gut feeling to get to the layers, the deeper layers of the anger or the sorrow or the pity or the rage, whatever emotion is there, and express it in that way, and then release it. Another great technique, and this is so simple, when you're out there in your car with the windows rolled up and you're on the freeway, let's say, where you're sure no one is going to hear you, and you're feeling angry, whether it's road rage, angry at those other stupid drivers who are not driving the way you want them to, or whether you think about something that has happened to you, whether it involves another person or a situation, let that anger come up and just scream at the top of your lungs. You'd be amazed at how cathartic that is. That really works, and that's an easy one. And also, because every emotion has both thoughts and feelings, also think about the situation. Think about what's going on inside of you besides the feelings. And when you get to a level of responsibility where you can see that somehow you allowed the reality, and to think about how you did that, and then forgive yourself, that's also part of this self-healing process. Obviously, this is a large subject, very complex. I mean, human beings are complex. So in a half-an-hour show, I can't give all of the answers that you need, but I want to give you enough to think about so that you can start taking more responsibility for your own health. Another great way to do that, every year, there are different seasons, quote unquote, that we hear a lot about on television and through those other sources, talking about the flu season, hay fever season. Years ago it used to be summertime was the polio season. Understand that part of this causation is beliefs and attitudes. If you plug into those beliefs that say you are doomed to catch the flu because it's the flu season and people are going to be coughing and spreading germs, if you believe that, if you believe that you have to take a certain kind of medication or get a shot, then that's the reality you create. If, on the other hand, you're willing to say, okay, I understand that a lot of the people around me believe that they'll get the flu, but I am an independent person here. I decide what I'm going to create in my reality. And I choose not to believe that I'm a victim of the flu season or the hay fever season or whatever else is the latest thing going around. That is a very empowering thing to do, and it takes practice to really own that, to really own that you have that kind of power. Again, in my book, A New Spirituality Beyond Religion, I go into greater detail about emotions. I give examples of how emotions actually do create, co-create, shall we say, your physical health. And as human beings, as spiritual beings, our goal, whether you are aware of it or not, each of us has a goal to become more independent, to become more powerful, and to consciously create success. Consciously thinking and feeling, utilizing what we learn, learning from our mistakes and forgiving ourselves, and growing in that way. So forgiveness, again, is a very important part of this creating health and getting back to health. Forgive yourself for whatever ailments you've created and learn how to do it in a different way. It's so exciting. It doesn't matter if your relatives all died of heart disease or cancer at an early age. You don't have to plug into that hereditary thing. You can take your power back. You can stay as healthy and live as long as you want. So I want to thank the audience for watching. Hope I've given you some new ideas, maybe how to take your power back. And the name of the show again is Living Wisdom, and I'm Patty Paul, saying goodbye until the next time.